Hi, Abby. Thanks
Hi.
for joining me. Now, you're a linguist. Tell me a bit about how you got into being a linguist and what it involves.
Okay, so I'm a translator.
Okay.
I always liked languages at school. I think probably because I like talking, and if I can talk different languages, then I can talk to other people in other countries. So I decided to do a degree in translation and had to spend time abroad as part of my degree, which made me even more interested in it.
Okay. Now, when you were a youngster, before you went off to university and doing your languages, you grew up in the church. Your parents were going to church as Christians. Were you a Christian at that time?
No.
Okay. So how was church? How did you feel about it?
Really embarrassed. When I remember always thinking, I really hope no one sees me walking into church or driving past, and didn't really want people at school to know. Apart from a couple of my friends at school also went, a Jehovah's Witness and someone else who went to church. So I think we were kind of the secretive religious people, dragged along by parents, people.
And this would have been what, in your teens maybe, or?
My whole, ever since I was born.
Yeah.
But probably in my teens where I felt awkward about it, yeah.
Okay. And so before you went over to Germany as part of your degree, you'd been going to the church, but you weren't a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
So can you tell us about when you came back from Germany then, and how you started to show an interest in going to church? And
So towards the end of my time in Germany, I was going through a bit of a bad time, and I knew something wasn't right, and there was something inside me saying that I don't know where it came from, because I was at that point I was only going to church 2 or 3 times a year. When I'd come home to visit my family, I'd just go with them because it was something I'd always done. But so it wasn't that I was actively listening, but I knew something was wrong, and I wanted to go back to church and find out what that was. But there was nothing really obvious that made it happen, other than perhaps I was at a couple of Catholic funerals, and they just seemed weird to me. I knew that wasn't what I'd been taught growing up in the church, and I couldn't really explain why.
so you start to go to church. You don't really know why, other than you have this unsettled feeling.
Yeah.
How did that then develop as you were going to church? Did things change for you eventually?
I think it was a long period of being back at church and actually listening to what was being said and feeling like, yeah, this makes sense. Like, I believe this. I want to live this way. I want to have this relationship. I want to be different. But I knew that I was still not what you learn from the Bible, who you're supposed to be, who God wants us to be. I also felt a bit like perhaps I didn't ever think that I could do anything to earn salvation, but I had the flip side of that, which was that I thought I was too bad because I'd had all these opportunities that I just messed up. Then it was the hymn "Depth of Mercy."
Okay,
The thing about that, I've long provoked you to your face and solicited your grace. That it was like that, for example, helped me realize that there was still mercy, and that it's not about you. You have to take, and I still struggle with that now, but you have to take your eyes off of yourself and focus on what Jesus has done. That really spoke to me, because I felt with all the years that I'd ignored God and been embarrassed to be in church and just basically turn my back on him, that he would still not shut that door and close my heart to the possibility of believing in him.
And as a result, you're a changed person. You're a newborn Christian, as the language might call it. How's your life different now?
My priorities are different. The things that I enjoy are different. How I view things, how I choose to spend my time. I'm still, in some ways, still the same person, but just, I guess, different values, different outlook.
You still support Bristol Rovers?
I do, yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for sharing that testimony with us. Thank you very much.